Welcome to Homemade Cooking. I'm here at the loft at 144 and Brian Belfi is teaching us how to make a good traditional Irish seafood chowder. Top of the morning to you. We've got Brian here. Hello Brian, what are we cooking today?
Hello Eric, we're going to give a traditional Irish seafood chowder a spin. We're going to put some smoked haddock, some hake, some scallops, some prawns. My mother's recipe, so that's not exactly one that can be written down. It's a bit of this, a bit of that, but it's mostly two.
Oh, is it a secret recipe?
No, it's not really. It's just, it changes every time we make it. 250 grams, I use the nutty wheat flour. 250 to 270 grams of the brown bread wheat flour, and then just self-raising white flour for dusting. I'm going to use about 250 to 300 mils of buttermilk. I'm going to use a teaspoon each of baking powder, baking soda, 1 egg, and a teaspoon of good honey just to go with. And then we just literally make a well and we run our hands through it until we get to this rough consistency. That's the really nice thing about this bread. It's not like a very specialist procedure. It doesn't even go in a baking tin. It goes out on a tray. See, that's pretty much what you want it to look like. Slight rebound, but nothing too springy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's coming together quite nicely.
Fantastic.
I'm going to transfer this now onto our roasting tray. But first, and this is for the grannies and the mammies back in Ireland, you got to let the fairies out. And there's a very scientific reason for that. I have no idea what it is. Do it because your granny told you to. Here we're just going to make a cross in it.
Is that because you're Catholic or Protestant?
I'm Catholic, but it's also this is what the bread is supposed to be.
Okay, no, just checking. No, you've got to be Catholic. How many kids you got?
5.
Okay, no, there we go. I rest my case.
True story. True story.
Now, what is the reasoning behind the loft at 144, Brian?
It's a mix of passion and lack of stupidity. Love to cook, not stupid enough to open a restaurant. So what we've been doing is inviting friends and guests from nearby hotels and people that are in the area to come and join us just for a meal, home cooked in our own home. We should probably have a taste.
I think we should.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh man, that's a soup on its own. I promise you, you could just...
That is beautiful. For me, seafood chowder is the most Irish thing in the world. Every Christmas when it's freezing cold outside, get a big lump of Irish soda bread, lashings of Kerrygold butter, and then it's whatever fish is available in a kind of a creamy, milky, herby kind of a broth, really. Okay, and at that point, we've got our oven preheated to 190. So we'll lash it in, and it should be 35 minutes. I have a look at it. Normally I'll turn it upside down for the last 5 minutes, but 40 minutes for this recipe and it should be done. The nice thing with the cross, makes it very easy to cut the bread. You cut it in half and then cut it this way. You get nice big doorstep slices.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic.
So there we go. Into the oven, preheated at 190. The good chefs that know what they're talking about. They don't actually use fish stock in the chowder. They mostly, the base of the soup is made up from the poaching liquid that we cook the haddock in. With potatoes and onions. I've always done it a slightly different way. I make a nice velvety fish stock with the prawn heads and some white fish. And then I use half and half the poaching liquid from the haddock and that stock. If you have a look at the stock here, it's been reducing here for about an hour and a half. The smell is amazing.
It smells like a lobster biscuit. Smells beautiful.
So we'll strain that through a sieve and make sure we don't get any lumpy bits, and we go basically half and half with that and what comes out of the haddock liquid. That'll basically go into our chowder. We're only left with that lovely clear broth when it's all done. We don't want any prawn eyes or bits of potato or bits of garlic. You see it's beautiful translucent colour. Exactly what we're looking for.
Alright, so what do you normally do with leeks, Brian?
Well, leeks grow up through the sand, so it's very important to make sure you get all the gritty, sandy bits out, otherwise people mistake their pepper for bits of the beach. So what I do is I split them down the middle, and we just rinse them under a running tap to make sure all that grainy sand is out from underneath it.
Oh wow, that looks absolutely designed. Beautiful.
I hope my mother is proud.
Jeez.
So we'll just take it out.
I think your nana will be proud of this too.
It's very hot.
Wow.
I normally leave it rest upside down on the tray, just to make sure it's not soggy in the middle. There we go, and give it a little bash. It's very hot.
That's
knock
beautiful.
knock. Yeah, nearly there.
So how do you, why did you knock that? I mean, what's that about?
It's like the fairies. My mother always did it.
Just
and apparently you're able to hear if it's crap.
Oh really? Well, that hasn't happened today, and it hasn't fallen apart.
It hasn't. So now that we have our bread out, that's going to sit there and get cool. I'm going to throw our potatoes and some of the garlic into our stock. Once the potatoes are cooked, in the meantime we're also going to do the haddock and the poaching liquid, and then from there it's very, very quick. It's literally 5 minutes work once the potatoes and the haddock are done. So I can throw those into the stock. It's reducing nicely. About half of our garlic here, roughly chopped. I like big chunks of the garlic. Makes the chowder what it is. Get that, go back up to the boil. Yeah, so this is the beautiful smoked haddock. Sometimes you'll get it with the skin still on, which is absolutely perfect because we're going to flake it up anyway. This has got the skin off. So typically what we're now going to do is we're going to poach it with the leeks and some onions, some black peppercorns, some bay leaves, and about 600 mils of milk. I'm going to top that up with some of the stock. So leeks and our shallots into a very small amount of butter. Just going to sweat them for a couple of seconds. Drop the haddock on top, and then add the poaching milk with some black peppercorns and the bay leaves.
Best way to vein and deshell a prawn? What's
Bane of everybody's life, and the thing that makes most dinners late. Yeah, so these are nice big jumbo prawns. So earlier on when I pulled the heads off, for the stock, if you get your thumb underneath and pull them straight down, you typically can pull the poo pipe out with the head. When I've shelled these, I'll also just do a quick check. We haven't left any behind, and there's one there, for example. Pull it straight through. There we go. That's the nasty. We don't want that.
Oh, that's really gross.
That equals not many people saying thank you for dinner.
No, that's horrible.
It's horrible, but it's on these nice big ones, it's fairly easy. Most of them come off with the heads, but on the smaller ones you got to be very, very careful.
Do you normally just twist the head off, or how do you do it?
Well, so the head is still on. I'm going to get my thumb under the head, so I twist and pull it this way with the tail flat, and that way you pull the poo pipe all the way along the spine.
Yeah.
That's simmering nicely. Coat it in the milk. And we literally take it off the heat. Cool down on its own.
So how long has it been on there for?
I didn't really time it. It's just to bring it up to a simmer. But that was probably about 6 or 7 minutes. We'll just leave it there
to rest.
And
this are these your potatoes in, yeah?
The potatoes cooking off and the rest of the stock. They're not far off either.
Prawns,
scallops,
lips,
the haddock. I'm just going to chop up some chives and some tarragon. Did I do my mother proud or not? Oh, I believe I did.
Oh, that is stunning. Looks like one massive hot cross bun. So tell me, guys, what do you think of this seafood chowder?
It's divine. It's amazeballs.
Amazeballs.